everyone, here is a review of the laws of exponents. Basically, all of these examples and everything that I'm about to go through are things that you have in your notes that we did back on October 14th. It was the foldable. So I'm going to kind of fly through these kind of fast. So here are basically all of the exponent rules. If I could move them up for you so you could see them better. Hold on one second, guys. But so here's basically all the rules that you'll have on your foldable. Tomorrow you're going to get a cutout of all of the rules themselves. That way you can refer back to it at any point that you need to do that. Okay, so our first example is we're going to use the product rule. So the product rule is x to the a times x to the b equals x to the a plus b. So if you have the same base, then you're going to add the exponents. So our first example is x to the fifth times x cubed. Your base is x. And then your exponents are 5 and 3. So if I wanted to expand it out, I would have 5 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I would have 3 x's for x cubed. So 1, 2, 3. So I have a total of 8 x's because 5 plus 3 is 8. So the same thing as saying x to the 5 plus 3, which is equal to x to the 8. Okay, that's just using our rule. The next one, I got 5 squared times 5 cubed. So the base is 5. When I multiply it out, I'm going to have 2 plus 3 5s. So it's going to be 5 to the 5th power. Okay, but since this is a number, I'm going to raise that number to that power. And when you do the calculation, which I'm about to do on my handy dandy calculator, is 2, 3, hold on one second. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 3,125. If I'm wrong, it's because I can't count, so y'all can double check that. Alright, so here's an example with all of them mixed together. So I have a base of 5, and I have a base of x, and I have a base of y. So now looking at the 5s, this is what I'm going to do in red. This 5 right here is to the first power. So it's like I have 2 plus 1 as many 5s. So I'm going to have 5 cubed. I'm going to write that right here, 5 cubed. Then looking at my x's, I only have x cubed. So I'm going to have x cubed in my answer. Now looking at y, I have y to the 4th. So y to the 4th. Now I'm going to do 5 cubed because it's a number. 2, 3. And you get 125. So your final answer is 125 x cubed y to the 4th. Final answer. Okay, the next type of rule that you have is the quotient rule. So say you have x to the a over x to the b, it's equal to x to the a minus b. So if they have the same base, you're going to subtract the exponents. So we have a to the 8 over a to the 5th. Our base is a. Both of them are a. Now I'm not going to write it out because it's what we did back in October, so you can double check your foldable. But so you would do 8 minus 5, which equals 3. So our final answer is a cubed. Okay, next one. We have 3 to the 6th over 3 to the 4th. Our base is 3. Now if I were to subtract them, so 6 minus 4, that's equal to 2. So I'm going to have 3 squared. Since it's a number, I have to square it. So my final answer is 9. So anytime you have a number raised to a power, you need to multiply it out. Okay, next one. I got 3 cubed, a to the 5th, b to the 4th. all over 3b squared. So I have a base of 3, I have a base of a, and I have a base of b. So now looking at the 3's, I have 3 cubed and 3 to the first power. So I'm going to do 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. Alright, then I have a to the 5th. This one's by itself, so it's going to stay where it's at. So let me write what I have right now. I have 3 squared, then I have a to the 5th. Now looking at b's, I have b to the 4th over b squared. So I'm going to do 4 minus 2, which equals 2. So I get b squared. Alright, my last step is to multiply out 3 squared. So 3 squared is equal to 9. So you get 9a to the 5th, b squared as your final answer. Alright, the next two rules that you have, I'm going to kind of combine them because they're really not that hard. You have the 0 exponent and the negative exponent. So for the 0 one, anything to the 0 power is equal to 1, unless x itself is equal to 0. So for instance, 100 to the 0. 100 is our base, our exponent is 0, so our final answer is 1. Alright, next thing. So if you have anything to the negative exponent, so I have x to the negative n, then you need to take that, the x to the n, and it's going to go to the bottom. And when it goes to the bottom, notice how it's positive. So, and the only thing is x can't equal 0, because when 0 goes down, it's undefined. So for our first example, we have 2 to the negative 3. Our base is 2. Our exponent's negative 3. So that means 2 to the negative 3, which is over 1, this whole thing, once it'll work for me, okay, this whole thing right here needs to go to the bottom. So this is equal to 1 over 2 cubed. I want you to notice how it went from a negative 3 to a positive 3. Okay, 1 over 2 cubed is equal to 1/8. So our final answer is 1/8. Okay, our next example kind of has everything thrown in. Alright, so looking at the first one. We have 10 to the negative 4, or we have a base of 10, and we have a base of x. Alright, for our 10, we have 10 to the negative 4. So over 1. So this is gonna have to go to the bottom. So it's gonna be 1 over 10 to the 4th. Then we have 10 to the negative 3 over 1. Or sorry, other way around, my bad. See, teachers make errors too. Alright, so we have 1 over 10 to the negative 3. So that means this one is going to have to go to the top, because it just has to go to the other side of the thing. And then x to the 0, this one right here, is equal to 1. So anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. So that means currently I have 10 cubed over 10 to the 4th. I don't have to write that 1 because anything times 1 is itself. Alright, now I need to simplify. So if I do 3 minus 4, that equals negative 1. So I have 10 to the negative 1 over 1 currently on top. And as we just discussed, our negative exponents have to go to the other side of the denominator. So this is equal to 1/10. And that is my final answer. So the first thing I did was I fixed my exponents to where they were all positive, and then I simplified from there. Alright, last one is raising a power to a power. So if you have x to the ab, that equals x to the a times b. So you multiply the exponents. So we have a base of 4. We have an exponent of 4 times the exponent of 2. And 4 times 2 is 8. Because this is the same thing as saying x to the 4 times x to the 4. So that would be x to the 4 plus 4 based off the power or the product rule. So you get x to the 8th. So our final answer is x to the 8th. Okay, the same thing works with numbers. So we have a base of 2, and then we have an exponent of -2 and a +2. So negative 2 times 2. There's 2 different ways that you could solve this one. So since we have 2 to the -2 over 1, this is the same thing as saying 1 over 2 squared. Hold on. Okay. 1 over 2 squared all to the second power. Technically, you're supposed to go ahead and flip it before you multiply your exponents. So then this way, we got 2 times 2 still. So we have 1 over 2 to the 4th power, which is equal to 16. So 1/16. And you can double check right here. So we multiply -2 times 2, we get -4. So we have 2 to the -4 over 1, which then this will have to go to the bottom. So that's equal to 1 over 2 to the 4th, which is equal to 1 over 16, which is our final answer. Okay, our next one, we have 5xy cubed, all raised to the -1. So we have a base of 5, x, and y. And if you notice, there's only one of each thing. And since they're all, we don't have to combine anything at all. Notice that we have a -1 power. So 5xy cubed is all over 1. And then I want to raise this whole thing to the -1. That means I have to multiply -1 by all of these exponents right here. Okay, so essentially what it's going to do is it's going to take all of this right here and just move it to the bottom. So our final answer is 1 over 5xy cubed, since all it did was flip it. Okay, I know that was fast. There's another little review that we have that's going to be over complex examples, which has stuff that we're actually doing tomorrow in class. If you're still confused, feel free to watch the Super Base video on YouTube, and it's by Westchester High School. They do a really good job of explaining it. So if you just Google or in YouTube, type in Super Base math video and it comes up. Hope this helps.